China has just approved what will soon become the world's largest hydroelectric dam. This is a plan to build something more powerful than anything we've ever seen before. Deep in the remote mountains of Tibet, engineers are preparing to build a dam that will generate 3 times more electricity than the famous Three Gorges Dam. This ambitious project is set to be built on the Yarlung Changpa River. But building a dam here is not just about generating electricity, it's about reshaping the future of energy in Asia. The dam isn't just big, it's pretty expensive too, with an estimated construction cost of over 1 trillion yuan, which is around 137 billion US. The budget of this project will far exceed the total GDP of Luxembourg and Slovenia combined. If everything goes as planned, this dam will be one of the most powerful energy sources in the world. The size and scale of this dam are truly mind-blowing. To help you understand the sheer scale of this project, let's compare it to the Three Gorges Dam, which is currently the world's largest hydroelectric dam. The Three Gorges Dam produces about 88.2 billion kWh of electricity every year. On the other hand, engineers have estimated that the new Yarlung Changpa Dam will produce around 300 billion kWh of electricity annually. That's more than 3 times the output of the Three Gorges Dam. But can this construction be possible? Let's find out. To generate the estimated massive power output, the dam will have to control an enormous amount of water. This is where the Yarlung Changpa River comes in. The Yarlung Changpa River is one of the most forceful rivers in the world, rushing through steep mountains and deep valleys. Hence, the dam will need to redirect and manage this massive water flow to generate electricity on a scale never seen before. This means engineers will have to dig multiple tunnels, each stretching over 20 kilometers through solid rock, just to control the river's movement. The tunnels designed for this dam will divert about 2,000 cubic meters of water per second. That's the equivalent of nearly 1,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools flowing through the tunnels every single minute. It appears that the dam's construction site experiences some of China's heaviest rainfall, resulting in dramatic changes in the river's flow between seasons. In the winter, water levels drop due to freezing temperatures, but in the summer, heavy rains and melting snow cause the river to swell and move with incredible force. Hence, engineers will have to design the dam to handle these extreme changes without breaking under pressure. The dam's location is subject to earthquakes, which could put the entire project at risk. The engineers will utilize high-strength concrete, reinforced steel, and sophisticated water control systems to make this project a success. In addition to that, special sensors and monitoring systems will be installed to detect any movement in the structure, allowing quick responses to any potential threats. Although the dam's location poses serious risks, it also has many positive aspects that could contribute to its structural functionality. The part of the river to be used for construction is home to the Yarlung Changpa Grand Canyon. This canyon is so deep that at its lowest point, it reaches around 6-9 m. As the river rushes through the deep canyon, it builds up enormous energy that can be harnessed by the dam. This natural advantage is what makes the project so promising. If engineers can successfully manage the difficult terrain, this dam will become a game-changer in renewable energy production. Building anything in a canyon this deep is already difficult, but constructing the world's largest hydroelectric dam here is something that has never been attempted before. Workers will have to deal with harsh weather, dangerous landslides, and extreme altitudes. To make matters worse, the region is also home to 43 major landslide zones, with millions of cubic meters of loose earth that could collapse at any time. To make this project possible, China is building an entire network of new infrastructure must be carved. They must carve high-quality roads into the mountains to transport workers and materials. And for the thousands of workers who can't afford to travel to and fro their distant homes, special support facilities will be constructed to house them for as long as the mega project's construction duration. While this dam promises to generate an enormous amount of clean energy, it also comes with serious environmental consequences. First of all, the Yarlung Chongpa River and the surrounding forests are home to many unique species that have adapted to live in these extreme conditions, and some of these animals and plants exist nowhere else in the world. By altering the natural flow of the river, the dam could destroy the breeding grounds and force many of these species to migrate to new areas where they may struggle to survive. Secondly, this massive project could disrupt local wildlife and change the balance of the environment in ways that scientists are still trying to understand. You see, large hydroelectric projects sometimes lead to the flooding of vast areas, which often submerges forests and grasslands that have existed for thousands of years. Thankfully, China has promised to implement environmental protection measures to reduce the impact of the project. Beyond its environmental impact, the Yarlung Chongpa Dam will also have life-changing effects on the people who live in the region. They may be forced to relocate as land is cleared for construction and rising waters flood villages and farmland. Some estimates suggest that up to 1.2 million people could be affected by various dam projects in Tibet. As a result, China has promised compensation and resettlement programs for those affected, but critics argue that these efforts do not always meet the needs of displaced communities. Many Tibetans fear they will lose not just their homes, but also their cultural identity. Despite strict government controls, there have already been rare protests against dam projects in Tibet. One example is the opposition to the Kamtok Dam, where local communities voiced their concerns about displacement and environmental damage. While China views this dam as a revolutionary step toward energy security and economic development, its neighbors India and Bangladesh see it as a serious threat. The Yarlung Chongpa River does not stop in Tibet. It flows downstream into India and Bangladesh, where it becomes the Brahmaputra River, a vital water source for millions of people. Any changes to its flow could have devastating consequences for agriculture, drinking water supply, and flood control in these countries. This dam will give China the ability to control the water supply that flows into these nations. If China decides to store more water during certain seasons or suddenly release large amounts of water, it could lead to drought or devastating floods in India and Bangladesh. China is one of the world's largest carbon emitters and has pledged to reach carbon neutrality by 2060. To achieve this goal, China is investing heavily in renewable energy and hydroelectric power. By building more hydroelectric projects, China hopes to reduce its carbon footprint and take a leading role in global efforts to fight climate change. Another reason China is pushing forward with this project is energy security. As its economy continues to grow, so does its need for electricity. The Yarlung Chongpa Dam could help ensure a stable energy supply for decades to come, reducing China's dependence on foreign energy sources and increasing its ability to control its own power production. So, what do you think? Is this project a groundbreaking achievement that will help the world transition to cleaner energy, or is it an environmental and geopolitical disaster waiting to happen? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.